Hey, hey, everybody. So good to see your faces. If you can, and if you're not occupied, please turn on your cameras so we can see each other. Yay. Thank you. Y'all, I'm pumped. Hopefully, all of you were able to watch Q Science's news today and see all of the amazing shout outs for people ranking up. Got some people jumping on. Hello, happy Monday. It's February 1st. Like I said, hopefully you guys were able to watch Q News today and bring your list of new enrollments in January. I am going to go over a little bit of recognition first before we get into the good stuff. Actually, this is the good stuff, really, isn't it? I'm so proud of everyone who went Builder Pro and Executive and helped your teammates to go Builder Pro and Executive. And the names that I'm going to talk about for recognition is by no means all inclusive of what the whole team has done, but these are just some big standouts. I want to give a big shout out to Stephanie Rowland. She just joined, y'all, like not that many days ago, and she went pro and she added 3 new ambassadors. What? That's incredible. Watch out for her. Builder Kim Delk and Mike Yost both went builder. So proud of them. Let's see, Corinne Johnson, Raynell Robinson, Braden Van Cleve, and again, Stephanie Rowland, they went pro. And Raynell and Stephanie, again, both added 3 new ambassadors. Y'all, that's amazing. Stephanie Bush added 3 new ambassadors. And then Wendy Bryant, Gemma Fade, and Linnell Nicolello, all 3 went executive. And Wendy Bryant also added 3 personal ambassadors. Y'all, that is an amazing list. So when we had our team call with Kelly Allred, and she was talking about, listen, y'all, we've got to make sure that people aren't falling through the cracks. And she said, you've got to identify your leaders. We need to screen people better when they're coming in, teach them how to invite or to get invited to calls, how to reach out, and then walking them to executive. Y'all are doing this. The momentum that is generated from the time that we had that call to how we ended for month end in January was so impressive in what you did. I'm really, really proud of you. And now the reason we're having this call tonight, and I'm so proud that so many of you are on, is we're going to take this momentum and we're going to figure out, by following some of the notes that I took tonight, how to predict and inspect what to expect in preparation for it being convention month. If you watch Q News, you know that we added 3,900 new ambassadors in January alone, and it was a 73.4% increase in enrollments. That's huge. Customers with was a 35% increase for preferred customers. So we're doing what we need to do. And now, just like Mr. Mark Wilson said, our CEO, he was like, do not run from the growth, run toward it. We are not going to lean back and think, okay, we did our job. It's time to rest. No, we are going to take this momentum and we are going to use what is coming and help these new people to win. Do you realize if you scoop up every new person that enrolled in your team, both preferred customers and ambassadors, and walk them to their goals, you will see the numbers change in your favor. The numbers will take care of themselves. Um, and then there are some product updates and things, but again, if you watched Q News, we're going to go over them a little bit maybe at the end, but I really, really want to talk to you about how do you get in action with these, what do you do with this information from these reports? Who are your new people? I don't care if you are the person that enrolled them or if you are 75 levels between. You should be calling every single person and saying, hey, welcome to Q Sciences. I am so excited for you. My name is Ashley. I am a part of your support team. You are in such good hands with your sponsor. But if you ever need anything, I'm here. And do you know that it is a convention month and what that means for you? Do you have have you launched properly? Do you have the tools that you need? How are your reach outs going? And just have a real conversation about what they need. You are not going to be stepping on your sponsor's toes by giving them that extra support at all. Because they need to see that they have a support team and that they have people that are going to be holding their hands. Hand holding in this business is a lot of work. I will tell you it is. It takes a lot of hours. Your schedule will be full, but it will be so worth it because right now with this list, you are going to be finding out who is all in. If we screened these people properly, that means they are going to be working 5 to 7 hours a week, that they place their orders, that they're ready to run hard and fast after their fast start bonuses. Because remember, if they joined in January, then they have all of February to get their fast start bonuses. And I haven't seen the flyer come through yet. Maybe it was posted and I just missed it, but the WinWin promo has been extended. So this means extra money on top of a convention month. We had, you guys who are new, you don't even realize. I'm so excited. I'm getting chills. You don't even realize how amazing convention months are and what is coming. 21 new products are coming. The entire hemp line is being improved and replaced. That is going to mean thousands and thousands in volume for your business if you help our new people go builder, pro, and executive. So go get their buy in, go get your leaders' buy in. Go to every single person who's ever ranked and say, hey, are you in? What do you want to accomplish? If they haven't gotten to builder, pro, executive, elite yet, go ask them if they want to. And so ask them, what do they commit to running for with you? You can drag people along all day long, but that's going to do nothing for your business. They have to be committed. You have to have their buy in. Ask them what they need, ask them what they want. Remind them of what they told you that they wanted and ask them if that's still true. Because you have to have that buy in order for you guys to lock arms. Otherwise, you're going to be doing all of the work and people will sometimes show up and it will be super frustrating. You're going to spend 80% of your time with the 20% of your team who are all in. And you hear this over and over again. You love people, but you don't fall in love with them. But you are working closely with the people who have given you their buy in. So, how much volume will that be compared to last month? So you can go to every single person's dashboard. Many, many, many of you got a dashboard screenshot from me saying, hey, you are so close to your next rank up. Here's what you need. Here's how much volume. Go look and click on last month on their dashboard and see where they ended at. Once you have their buy in, you can say, hey, Linnell, what do you want to accomplish this month? Awesome. You're going for elite. You're going for bronze. Cool. Okay. So you ended last month at 1647 or whatever it ended up. You minus whatever the total volume is that they need for their next rank up from the 1647, what they ended at last month. And that's how much volume that they are committing to bringing into the business. Not only at that point can you come up with a business plan for them. Remember when we were all launched and you all goal set and you had that 90-day number of what you were going to accomplish? You had your 30, 60 and 90-day goal. Well, we're basically revisiting that with this conversation and saying, what do you want to accomplish this month before February 18th, before the convention hits? Because if you play your cards right and you help every new person to builder, pro, and executive, not only are you going to generate a bunch of more momentum in your business before the 18th, but you're going to be able to know exactly how much volume you need to generate in your business for your rank up goal and what that is. Well, how many executives do you need? Executive is 1,500 in volume. If you need to go elite, how many executives is that? 4,500 divided by 1,500 is how many executives, right? You can do this math backwards. And so you add up that volume per leg, per person who is committed. So let's say you have 2 people in leg 1, 2 people in leg 2, and you're working on building a third, and you get buy-in from each person, you generate how much volume difference that's going to be. You add it together and you can see how much volume could possibly be added to your business this month. Come February 18th, when the event starts, guys, you have no idea how much that volume can multiply. Heather Sprague went bronze at an event. Heather, did you have any idea that that was going to happen before the event?
Not even close.
We were all sitting there on our phones going, refresh, refresh, refresh. It was unbelievable. And Jennifer Meredith was sitting down the row, and you could see all of us like huddling together, like, what do we need to get her there? It was unbelievable what happens. I saw Francesca Fields stand up and put her hands on her head, and I saw her the moment that she went platinum. Guys, it's powerful. And so, what we're going to do in the meantime, we're going to help all these people, every single person on this call, we're going to help you to reach your next rank up goal. But we got to handhold. We have to know how to invite. If there is not an op call on the schedule when you need it, you need to be talking to your sponsor and say, I need an op call. Let's get on. I'll do the products, you do the business. Let's do this thing. Take ownership of your business. I probably sound really excited and really intense right now, but you can add this volume projection into your business by getting into action. You're going to handhold the people that are on your list, go to every single one and say, I'm so excited for you. I want to help you. How are your reach outs going? And just like Kelly said, if you're getting ghosted, if you're struggling to get people on calls, what are you sending? Give it to your sponsor. Send them the voice messages. Let them hear what you're saying and let them help you in making small tweaks. If it's a relationship building thing, if it's building influence, if it's maybe just like not the right verbiage for whatever their pain point is, we can fix that. It's easy. That's an easy fix. And so we're going to work on hand holding new people to these goals by February 18th. Does everybody understand how to? I see some chats in here. Does everybody understand how to get the volume difference between what you're projecting into your business by helping every single person that's on this list? rank up, but also looking at people's last month and saying, okay, Linnell, you want to go bronze, you went executive. So what's the difference in volume and adding that to your projection? I'm looking at the chat right now. All right, so Jamie Lynn, the ambassador growth percentage was a 73.4% increase for new enrollments in January. And oh, Lucy, thank you. Thank you, Lucy.
Sorry, I'm just a visual person, so I'm trying to understand. Are you talking about like what is her name? Mary something. She did a chart like
Marielle, yeah.
Yep.
Mary out like I always want to say it's Mary Beth, and I know that's not it. And I'm just gonna call her that when I meet her. I'm like, I gave you a new name. Um, but I watched that training she did where she like end of month and are you talking about that or something else?
It's very similar. You can do this in lots of different times in the month for your business, but yes, anytime because I like to send those dashboard screenshots and say, "Okay, Lucy, you're only 3 ambassadors and however many points away from your next rank or 2 ambassadors and, 300 points away from your next rank up. Who can we talk to? Who can you connect me to? This is what it looks like for getting to builder, getting to pro, getting to executive, or whatever your next rank is." And so she does that for end of month, and then she takes the volume difference between where they are and where they want to be, and she says, okay, do you commit to reaching that rank up? Okay, let's gather that volume and we're going to put that in a bucket. She adds all that volume together, and she can project, okay, in my business I'm adding, 25,000 in volume because this is what my leaders have committed to running hard and fast for. And then at end of month, you get to compare it and be like, okay, what fell through it's inspecting what you can expect in your business. And you can do this in two different ways today. You can take all of those new enrollments and go to every single one, introduce yourself, support them and walk them to their rank up goals, but ask them what do they commit to going after. And you can kind of project what the next 2 or 3 weeks of your business are going to look like. My challenge to you is to help every single one of these new enrollments hit their rank up goal, which, if they're new, we want to get them paid fast start bonuses to executive in their first 30 calendar days, right? Get their buy in, and you can project. And I really, really, like I said, to finish my thought, I challenge you to help them to executive by February 18th, because this is going to set you up for a crazy, wildly successful month end. Katie, do you have anything to add to that?
Not specifically about that. I'll let you finish your thoughts around it. I have a couple comments as far as suggestions, things that we could do to start getting in action, if you want to transition into that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to see
So,
if anybody had any questions
yeah.
about the number stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, Mike says, what about those added to your leg that you have and did nothing in January? Do we reach out to them and see if we can get them going? Yeah, absolutely. Guys, I still talk to ambassadors that have been in my organization for even a year and ask them if they want to jump back in. And in a lot of cases they do, and we help them reach their goals. That difference in volume, it doesn't matter if they're new or if they're veterans in your business, they can reach their goals and you can project volume. But of course, by focusing on the new ads in January, you get to help them take advantage of the WinWin promo extension and getting their fast start bonuses as quickly as possible, and carrying that momentum from yesterday and the past week over into the first week in February. We rest on day 5, 6, or 7. We don't rest today. We don't rest tomorrow. I know that sounds intense, but It's going to set your business up for success and marrying the months so that you have new enrollments and new people coming into your business so that by the time everyone has their velocity tickets and they're watching that virtual event, it's going to explode not only your business, but these new people who are getting to experience the best training they've ever had in their careers at this event with the most amazing product launch to date in the company. And if you don't have trust in the company yet, you're going to see. They have totally gained my trust over the past year and a half from the decisions that they've made to protect our businesses in such a crazy, wild global environment with e commerce and be able to deliver. So, there is a level of trust here where you're saying, if you don't have your ticket, go get your ticket. Trust me, you're gonna wish that you had if you didn't. Yeah, Katie says I would say yes. Introduce yourself and see how you can help. Okay, let us know if you have any questions. You could throw them in the chat, but I really want Katie to be able to go over what she was going to talk about too.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're here for it and you guys do have big goals, on normal months, we marry the month and we take a break, that following Sunday. Convention months for me, I literally just run straight into convention. And so again, I ask you guys to be realistic with your goals. And even when you're talking to new people on your team, be realistic. I mean, we all would love to be making $2,000, $4,000 a month, whatever. But the reality is we don't all have unlimited time. A lot of us are still working. A lot of us have young children who refuse to go to sleep at night. We all have to be realistic about the time that we can put into it. And the last thing that I want is for anybody to feel bad or discouraged about what they were able to do. So just think about your time, what you can realistically do. And then not only are we helping our newest people get to executive, but we need to make sure that we're continuing to stay in phase one. And the reality is social media, it has changed. It's no longer just going and throwing up a post. We really truly need to start interacting with people. The people that are having the most conversations are typically the ones that are having the most traction. So going in, when you do stories and you do posts, that's the very first step to conversations. Right now, when I throw up a post, and even if somebody likes it, I'll go into my messenger and I'll say, I'm just curious what you liked about the post. Thank you so much for loving on me. Not when I'm watching people's stories, we are such an instant gratification right now. Like, I love stories. I like to just be able to click through them. So try to think what's engaging that gets people to stop the scroll. And I don't do just like a swipe up heart or a comment. I say something about their post. Oh my gosh, that's so inspiring. I love that quote. Because now you're in their messenger and now you can start a conversation going with how the algorithms work. Now, because you've engaged with them and you actually have a conversation going, the posts that you are putting up are going to show up in their news feed. So again, it's just about showing up, being social, starting those conversations, following up with people in a lovingly and respectful manner. We don't want to be spammy. So I always try to add some sort of value when I'm reaching out to somebody. Or if I've talked to somebody about it and maybe they've ghosted me or they haven't said anything to me, then I love on them on the posts that they are putting up. And I'm not saying like, oh, cute shirts. Like, I truly try to love on somebody. Like the other day, one of my friends posted that her son broke his arm. And it was, I just took it a step further, like, oh my gosh, I remember Walker broke his arm this summer. It's so hard seeing your kids go through that. Like, stay strong, mama. He's going to bounce back. And then we just started going, and I did it actually in her messenger. So again, starting that conversation, you're growing your trust with them. Again, continuing to add people to your network, because now you guys, 2 weeks in network marketing days is like months. You know, we see the magic that happens on month end when we have 2 days to like close the month and the things that can be done. So the fact that we now have 17 days to truly work this, to add people to our network, start those conversations, pinpoint and narrow down the people that we think would be great for this opportunity and start that conversation now, then with all of the amazingness that is coming at us at convention, it will be a more seamless transition and flow for us to actually approach them, and not so much of the cold message that so many of us aren't fans of. So those are my suggestions. I would love to open it up and ask, there's so many people finding so much success right now. I would love for you guys to share, if anybody is willing to, some things that they're trying, maybe some things that they've tweaked. I'm going to share one more thing that I just started doing. I know I don't know a lot of you, but I work. And so I'm trying to fit this business into the nooks and crannies of my day. On the days that I go into my office, I've been setting like 15-minute timers. Something about a timer ticking down, it's like the urgency, you know? And I'll sit there and for 15 minutes, it's like a power hour, but I split up throughout my day. Like even when I'm at home with my kids, like, you know how it is, like they're always pulling you in all these different directions. But I'm like, okay, I have 15 minutes. I'm going to go through and I'm going to do my happy birthdays, and I'm going to respond to everybody that commented on my post. You know, the things that get done. Or I recognized that I was getting sucked into just endlessly scrolling, looking for content or looking for reels or TikToks or whatever it is, that is just a time suck that's not truly income producing activities. And so now I set a timer. I'm like, I have 15 minutes to sit here and look for content and ideas. And once it's done, and I'm moving on to my next thing, because it's so easy for us to get sucked in and not truly be working towards what's going to get us towards our goal. So that's one thing that I've started doing. I just started that last week. It really has kind of helped keep me focused. I would love to hear if anybody else is doing anything that they've found successful. I know. Yeah.
Oh no, for me, like I've just been really intentional about voice messaging and not text. I mean, I have 3 littles under 5. Like my husband's gone a lot, so I don't have a lot of time, but I have seen that like when people know that I'm taking the time to use my voice to actually like connect with them, they're connecting back. So I was just chatting with one of my newbies, and I was like, use your voice message, like don't text, use your voice message. And they're like, oh, okay. Because it does, like it's like personal connection. When we're trying to connect via technology, like you have to do that one step further, take that one more second longer. And I think it's paying off big time. So that's what I've been doing.
I love voice messages.
Linnell, you told me before we got on this call that you had some good success with getting some buy-in from your team. Do you want to share a little bit about that too?
Yeah. So I last night I was honestly like, this is I've been in this business for a long time, but this company is totally different. Like it is like the community is different, the team culture is different. But last night I was telling Ashley, this is the first time ever that I've actually been excited about month in, because I was more focused on helping people rank up than me. And it was just the best feeling ever. And so this morning, what I did is I either voice messaged my team or I text them, and I was like, hey, like I would love to run hard with you to executive this month. Like, what do you think? Are you in? And I just kind of like put it in their ball, like in their ball. It is late here. It's like 11, like in their court, you know what I mean? So it's like, and it was amazing. Like I've had 5 people commit saying that they want to go hard for executive. And I kind of was a little, honestly, I was a little taken back. I was expecting maybe 2 or 3, but when 5 were like, yeah, let's do this, I was kind of like, oh, here we go. But like, again, like I reached out to them, and I, you know, one of the ladies, I was like, I believe in you. Like you have what it takes. Like you're a people person, just like really edifying. Like we edify our upline when we're bringing and connecting people. But I think a lot of times, like especially like when you're bringing new people and onboarding them, like sometimes, most of the times, we need to edify them, be like, hey, listen, like I saw greatness in you to be able to build an amazing business. Let's do this together. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. And it's just been fun. My team is awesome. So
That's amazing. I love that. Anybody else? Lucy, do you have anything to say?
Waiting. No, I have been implementing time blocking as well. It's been huge. I run 4 businesses, so and 4 children, 2 dogs, and a husband. If they're still alive, I don't know. But like Linnell, I did reach out to my team. I know that they were pushing for some goals and were, and it didn't happen. But so I immediately, first thing was just loved on them. And, just especially like make sure you watch Q News if you didn't, watch what Jake and Mark talked about and just really boost them up, letting them know that I'm here for one-on-ones. And that, we're going to do this, together. But I also for me, I have to establish boundaries as well, that I have my own goals and for this business, and that for me as a leader, I like to make sure that my time is valued. And so, and I would say that to everybody, that you make sure that you just don't pour so much into everyone else and forget about yourself. So that's why I do time blocking. Like, this last month, January, all of my businesses boomed, and it was more so that I focused on personal development. And that is huge. I'm reading Everything is Figure Outable. And so I highly recommend that you just set that timer. I set the timers for like 15 minutes and I meditate, and then another 20 minutes and I just listen to an audible and then moving my body. And it changes your mindset, and it really is encouraging because then you've set the tone. And so that's what's been working for me. And then of course, just reevaluating social media because it's changing. It's hard to keep up. There's something going on. I don't know where they're all going, but they're going somewhere.
You're going over to Clubhouse. Yeah, I know. It
Clubhouse is great. Clubhouse is amazing. I got kicked out. I was trying to listen to Elon Musk last night, but he wants us all to go live on Mars. And I'm like, all right, okay, fine. As long as they got bars, I don't care where we're going to live. Let's go.
Yeah, well, and that is the thing, like the algorithms and stuff, they're constantly changing. And so that's why being aware. So another thing I've started doing is on stories, the ones that are very first in your lineup are the ones that they're already watching your stuff and you're watching theirs. I literally will take my finger and I'll sit there and I'll scroll and I'll scroll to the very end, because those are the people that you're not interacting with.
Mm-hmm.
Those are typically the ones that you're done watching stories by the time they get to them. And so it's typically people that are new that you haven't been interacting as much with. And so then that's when you're starting to get new people. How many of us have, who knows how many friends that we're not actually interacting with? And so being intentional that when you're on there too, I try to love on all my people. It does get hard, especially now that I am time blocking because I'm not doing so much of the endless scrolling, but to not spend all your time just commenting on Q people's stuff, because we're there to be interacting and growing our relationships with other people too. So yeah, I think just being intentional with our time, continuing to grow our network, consistency is really, really key, especially right now. Even those days when I don't have the motivation, at minimum, I'm doing an IPA sheet, saying happy birthday, following up with people. So I would encourage that of you too. But again, we all just need to be realistic. We all have different, amounts of time that we can put into the business. So.
Thank you guys for that. Jamie Lynn had a really good question in here. She said, for the new people, if they just started, they may not have been building influence or relationships. How can they push to executive in 2 weeks without being pushy, working with a short timeline? So first of all, we want to make sure that everybody gets launched properly, because if you're launched properly and you're setting up your Zoom very quickly and getting into action, every person knows another person. And so just helping them understand that they are connecting the people that they do know in their network to you and the support team, which is going to help us close for you faster. We want to make sure that they know how to use the third party tools and then invite them to the Zooms. And like I said before, if there's not enough Zooms on the calendar, Katie and I will work together with the leaders in this team to get you presenting quickly. It doesn't take that much time to get on a call real quick with one of your leaders and say, okay, connect me. All right, Linnell, you're up. You're doing the products. I'm doing the business. Let's go. It's on the fly. We are all pretty much well versed enough, if you are executive, elite, or bronze and above, to know how to talk about at least one or two of your favorite products and then tell how much you love the business, and then letting the third party tools or your edified upline speak for you, right? That's at least going to help the conversation going. But if you have someone that start out that it doesn't have very much influence at all, on average, the average person knows around 650 people. So if they are willing to reach out and start making connections, even if you're giving them a message example that says, hey, I know we haven't talked in a while, and that's a little weird, but I want to reestablish this connection with you here because I thought about you and I started a new business opportunity that I feel like you would be really good at. Are you open to hear about it?
I actually have been doing just that. Actually, what I found successful is I'll say, because I don't want to waste anybody's time. So I'll say, hey, listen, I know we haven't talked in a few years. I have something that I think really might interest you. But first, tell me, how are your kids doing? And so I'll preface it that, listen, I'm going to ask you and talk to you about something, but I also am genuinely curious, like, how are your kids? Tell me what's been going on these last 3 years. After we've kind of exchanged stories back and forth, then I'll circle back around and I'll say, well, that sounds amazing. And maybe that at that point, after you asking questions and you having a little bit of a dialogue, they've shared something with you that allows you a better segue into this, whether it be products or just the opportunity. So I personally like to take it a step further. And again, up front, I'm saying I have something that I've been on my mind. I can't help but not reach out. So I want to ask you something, but first, I saw that you had a new baby. Congratulations, or whatever, that personal touch. That seems to be working too, and it kind of breaks down the walls and it makes it more personal.
No, that's so good, because I feel like if you're willing to have the conversation and kind of talk about the elephant in the room, speak the unspoken, it kind of rips the band-aid off, and then you're in it, and then you'll learn really quickly how to just take a deep breath, try to be more comfortable, and realize that you're talking to a friend. And if you follow the system is going to, I hate to use these words because it sounds harsh, but the system will do its job. It will attract the people it's meant for, and it will repel the people it's not. And you can rest in assurance that you're doing your job if you're following the system and you're connecting people and using third party tools, right? But we want to get people into action quickly because, yes, we have a limited amount of time before the event. And it's not, we don't want to be pushy. We don't. But we want to let them know that they have a unique opportunity to experience something that is incredible. And the more people that you get to the Velocity event, the more successful the end of this month is going to be for you and your team. Courtney had a good question. I have some men interested. I would like to get them connected with other men. Best resource to make that happen. Well, I'm so proud of the men that are on this call tonight. We have more than a few. I'm so proud of that. If you would like Courtney to be in conversations, I'm sure that Kelly and Mike and Braden, maybe some more men that are on this Zoom might be willing to have a conversation, maybe even create some sort of like men's club on our team. I've been thinking about that for a while. Kelly?
Yeah, I'm heavy on that one. That's one of my goals to be able to do. I mean, the conversation we're having here tonight is all good, but if you look at the examples that you're all using, they're all gender specific in a lot of ways. And the guys don't necessarily grasp onto that. And I think that there is a missing part of the market that Q has a great answer for in their products and in the relationship building, because most of the guys are retarded. I fall in that category too, when it comes to social interaction. When I get away from the people that I know personally, I'm a different person than I am with the people I know and love. And so I'm more reserved, I'm more quiet. I'm always watching, and a lot of guys are that way. And whereas most women are not, they're more of they're much better communicators than guys are, and so they have to be approached differently if we want to get into that part of the market. And so if you've got men interested, now granted, I'm new to this, like everybody else, not like everybody else, excuse me. I'm new to this, period. And with that being said, though, I'd be more than willing to hang out with and meet some guys and be able to share some of this, kind of without stereotyping, kind of in our way, just a little bit, taking the nuggets of information you all present, and then kind of just turn that just a little bit so it's more towards the guys and a little bit, and get them moving just as quickly as you all are moving. And then where we have couples, that kind of takes care of itself. But if you get a single guy whose wife is not connected to the business and he's talking to a bunch of women, I got to be honest, to a certain extent, it's going to be intimidating a little bit, I think, on their part. And there's also that personal integrity issue we have to watch out for. And so guys can sharpen themselves on each other rather than trying to sharpen themselves with the opposite sex. So I think there's application across the board in that. Not to get off on a tangent, but that's just from the cheap seats, I should say.
Well, it gives me an idea because all of you men who are on this Zoom, I'm sure all of the women here would like to have message examples that you feel work for you. Because we do talk to men too, and we would like to have messages that they relate to that you guys are having success with. So maybe we make a men's thread or something. I don't want to be exclusive in any way to
Right,
anyone,
right. I
but
agree.
I definitely would love to have successful message examples that all the genders can follow so that everyone is succeeding and being able to relate to the person that they're talking to, because that's the whole thing. We want to relate to the person that we're talking to.
One of
And
the things that I know to be true as far as relating to men and relating to women, women tend to think in terms of emotions. Men tend to think in terms of logic, and you approach both of them totally different. I know if you're going to get on social media, if you are speaking to a female, particularly from my point of view, you have to be a little more emotional with them because they are more emotionally driven. Whereas with men, it's pretty easy to be logical, to the point, factual. That's what appeals to most men. So I have to keep those things in mind when I'm approaching these various people, because sometimes you gotta change your words a little bit and still have the same meaning, if that makes sense.
Yeah, when it's kind of interesting because I've had several conversations and I do have a couple of men on my team. It was the whole idea of multiple streams of income that really caught their eye. That's what caught my eye. So I don't think that that's specifically for men, but I do think that the income opportunity and multiple streams of income and, being able to do it from home, all that kind of stuff. Kelly and Mike, I'd like your guys' opinion if you think that that is a good angle. It's something that it's been working for me, but again, what do I know?
I think that part crosses the bounds between the genders. Okay, if you can see the plan through the simplicity of the compensation and the multiple streams of income, bingo. That's what we all want first. Okay, because everything else below that is a step down. Okay, it's second best and third best after that before they tell you no. So I don't think that's I think it's probably a little bit more the relational side. Guys just relate a little bit different, and I'm not trying to find fault, but it's different, I guess, is the best way I know how to put it. And so if we can get the guys together a little bit, not all the time, but you know, I've seen Mike on here a couple times. I've never talked to Mike. It's the first time I've heard him speak. Probably the first time he's heard me speak. Well, can we do a Zoom call with just the guys? Just for an introduction, if nothing else. And then, you know, we kind of take it from there and be a part of this group. But if the guys want to get together and have a discussion over something, we can do that too. I'm being very hesitant. I don't want to split. There's no intent to do that. But there's something to be said of having a level of comfort talking amongst the guys than it is in maybe in mixed company.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the guys thread personally. I don't know, maybe some people, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I think that you guys could be able to talk and relate to each other in a way that, you know, would be nice to have other people that get your point of view.
It would be a fabulous resource. I have 2 Class A's that I just need to close, and I'm having a hard time finding someone that they can relate to. They very much see this as a woman's type of industry. And so being able to give them someone to relate to. My husband does this with me, but he hasn't been able to speak with another man. I haven't been able to find someone for him to talk to. He's going to convention with me. We'll be there live. So hopefully I'll meet y'all in person. But yeah, I mean, I would love resources and, you know, to be able to do that. So thank you for this conversation.
I love it. I think that any leader that you personally relate to for any reason, you should be able to approach that person and gain whatever knowledge that they can give you. That is the beauty about this company and our culture here. And it doesn't hurt my feelings. I think that we need to do whatever is going to empower you. And if you want to host and run a guy's Zoom, I think you should. I think that that helps you take ownership of your business and realizing that it's more than just about us and whatever our inner circle and comfort level is. So I'm all about it. I think that's amazing. And Kelly, Mike, Jalen, I'm trying to see if there's anybody else on the Zoom that's a guy. If you guys want to, if I can help coordinate that in any way or lead you in a direction that will help you facilitate that, please let me know.
Perfect.
Well, I want to respect everybody's time. We've gone a little bit over, but I think we've had some really good conversations about what's going on in our business. We got really good tips from Katie on how to get into action. And I really hope that you take that list of new enrollments and run with it. Be intentional about communicating with people on your team, understanding what their wants and their needs are, and then hand holding them to their next rank so that you are going into this event that is coming up with everything that you could have done already done, and you feel good about walking into it knowing that you are in action, that you are supporting your team well, you are staying in phase 1 recruiting. If you don't know what that is, that means that you are intentionally doing action every single day to get this information into people's hands that would be interested in our business. Katie says there's a Men of QOP call recording in the movement that she uses. The movement is our larger team page. If you're not a part of it, you will be added to it. Ask your sponsor to be added to it. There's so many good tools there. Events are always posted there, the times, the dates, who's doing the Zoom, and recordings of previous recent Zooms as well. I'm not sure, Steph. We would just have to look at the Zoom.
Yeah, that's the UK one with Mr. Mark Wilson and Jake Spencer. That one is long. Brandon Stevens did a Men of Q call that's like 30 minutes in there, so it's good.
Yeah, I've used that one myself.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, and figure out, since I'm so new to everything, who are the movers from that perspective, you know, and get to know them about them a little bit. But it would also be nice that within our own line, this piece here, that we have those relationships, and we build those so we can work off each other from that standpoint for support. And I would say this, and I just offer myself up, if there's somebody out there who is somebody that, you know, you've got a guy you've been talking to, and you know things aren't kind of going, and you want to reference them to me, I'd be more than happy to talk to them. That's not a problem.
Yeah, that's the
Either
same goes
through-
for me too. I'd be more than
Yeah,
happy
either
to
through
jump
Linnell
in.
or, yeah. See, Mike's gonna step up, I'll step up. And I think as we get more guys doing that, any deficit that might be there will just quickly disappear. And we'll work this more together as a complete team and not just maybe from the cheap seats looking in. And I say that only because I'm so new and I don't know all the ins and outs. So
Well, Kelly, Mike, Braden, Jalen, you guys, if you want presentation training, please let us know. We will prep you and make sure that you start getting into the presentation cycle and offering a men's Zoom. I've always been a big advocate of, if you see something lacking, take ownership, step up and offer that to your team, to the I don't know, to the community is what I'm saying. So,
well, in doing that, I help myself, to be quite honest, because so it's a win-win. So you can put me down on that list for that. I'd be more
perfect.
than happy to do that. And
So,
if there's a board there, fill that and work with anybody else who also wants to do it.
same here. The more I present, the easier it's going to be to help others, even in my own line. So yeah, I'm all for that.
You guys are amazing. Sarah Spencer, Mr. Jake Spencer's wife, always says that the team with the most presenters always wins. So that goes for everyone. Yeah. All right, y'all.
Yeah, I
Thank
totally
you.
agree with that.
Thank you so much, Kelly, Mike. I'm gonna get in touch with you guys, and we'll get that rolling for everyone. Maybe offer a men's Zoom sometime soon. And yeah, if you guys need anything, please let us know. Everybody get into action. Fill up your calendar with goal setting calls, launch calls, get people reaching out. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing month. All right. Bye.